Look at this. Oh,
Show me. Yeah, I'm filming.
there it is. Yep.
Oh.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Those miners got about 15 ounces of nice opal that day, and I have 2 ounces of it right here. It was sent to me by Riley Gunn of NN Opals. He sells via his store, 53 Frogs on Opal Auctions. He's got a lot of opal for sale, including the opals that I cut in this video, believe it or not. The Kingstone is this. It weighs 110.4 carats and is very nice. Riley asked me to cut this opal and said that he wants the largest possible cabochons, and he's even okay with stupid big. No one ever says this, but I think it should be said. Cutting an opal means grinding and polishing, not necessarily cutting with a saw. And a cabochon is a gem with a smooth, non-faceted surface. It's as simple as that. So we'll be working with 5 stones today, 4 small stones, and then the Kingstone. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to slice most of these in half. These small stones are pretty easy to slice. Not really a problem. Number 2 here, I had to rotate it. I'll smooth that out later. And the third one, I'm just cutting the nub off of it, and the big piece will be a good stone. Gotta get this Kingstone right, because if I don't, the whole video will be a failure. Drawing a line around it, and if I stay on this line, I'm gonna end up with 2 big pieces, but one will be thicker than the other. Let's do this. Oh, shit. See you next time. Now this was a pretty thick opal, but cutting an opal lengthwise along the narrow axis is never fun. Boy, if I'd have screwed this up, Riley would have, well, he'd put me in timeout. Well, I'm pretty happy with the whole bunch. They all look pretty good. No big mistakes, that's the way it should be. Now we'll do some real cutting. Let's start with these 3 easy ones. I'll do all 3 at the same time. You probably thought Sheila was helping me here, but those are my feet at the bottom. Put these stones on dopsticks. That gives me more control. I like working with my hands, but working with a dopstick is much more accurate. This is half of the Kingstone, but it's not the good half, so what do we call it? Well, maybe the Crown Prince? I'm starting out on the 140 wheel, which is a very coarse grit, and that gives me a rough shape. Now I'm smoothing the edges and try to rolling them in anticipation of making a dome surface. Freeform shaped stones are not my thing, but I'll take it. So it's down to you and me, my friend. I know that we both knew that this moment would eventually come, and now it has. Do you think you have what it takes to be a real Kingstone? Or are you going to break under the pressure and show yourself to be nothing more than sand and potch? This is the largest and most beautiful piece of all the pieces we have in this parcel, and we need a Kingstone. A parcel needs a Kingstone, and this is going to have to be it. It's long enough, it's wide enough, it's thick enough, it's colorful enough. But do we take this beautiful flat surface on the back, on the cut surface, and put a dome on it? It's completely flat now. Or do we use this natural dome on the other side? But this natural dome has issues. Look at that indentation. There are indentations that we have to get through, and there's sand. We need to get through that too. The cut surface is really fine, and the back has issues, so we're going to put a dome on the cut surface. Using a template to get the perfect ellipse. We'll be losing this and a little bit of this. Plus we have to put a dome on it. I'm starting out with the coarse wheel, but I'll quickly switch to the finer wheel. This has to be very accurate, and you'd be surprised how easy it is to not get this right. It seems like every time I'm sitting here, I've got a giant, beautiful opal in my hand. Why is that? That's not actually right, but I do consider myself very fortunate to be able to work with great opal a lot of the time. So I'm going to round off the surface. In other words, I'm going to put a dome on it. As you may know if you watch this channel, I like to work with my hand, particularly on large stones. Sometimes with small stones it gets dicey with these hands that are not really small. That was me flattering myself. I have big ugly hands. I mean, in case you can't even see, like, look at that. But anyway, I find that when you've got a large oval stone, it's best to put it on a dopstick. Notice how I'm holding the dopstick and holding the stone at the same time. This gives me better control and also helps keep the pressure off the dopping wax. It's very easy to break the stick off, and I hate that. Now, hate is such an unpleasant word. I have to ask myself, WWPD, what would PewDiePie do? I think I'll just stick with hate. Okay, I put the marker on here so you can see the progress. I stopped here because I wanted to show you that I'm going to accelerate the process of making this dome. I'm going to make the dome flatter. Why is that? Well, I'm going to make it flatter so I don't go very deep into it, because we know that they had great color right at the surface before, and if we get too deep, we might miss that color. We don't want to do that. Let me load this sucker up. This is what's going to take opal cutting into the next millennium. 3121. What an invention. I should pat myself on the back. Well, no, better not. I might electrocute myself. I'm going to make millions. I mean billions. Heck, I'm the new Thomas Einstein. Stone's looking pretty good. I wanted to show you this. Bet you were surprised to see it. This is something I came up with about 7 years ago. Just on a lark. I said, boy, wouldn't it be easy? You could get such even pressure and it'd be so easy. Turns out, you know, this really is not much of a help. I mean, it's not really a help at all. If you've got a big oval stone like this, when those sides come around like that, it'll knock your stone off the wheel. It's a mess. Now, probably don't even make this stupid thing anymore. Don't expect to find one of these, but that's good that you can't find one, because you don't want to use this. Particularly if you got long hair, because, you know, you could rip off your scalp with this thing. But you got to say, it's interesting. It's interesting. Thank you, Sheila. Continuing to do the dome, more and more of the blue is coming off, so you can see here that that flat spot is what remains of the original surface. That needs to be a dome, so I'm continuing to grind. It's pretty much of a dome now, but there's still some irregularities. At some point between grinding and polishing, there's a step called sanding. Now, it's called sanding because sandpaper was used and still is used by many opal cutters. If you're not using sandpaper, you need a word to describe what happens between grinding and polishing. And for me, sanding is perfect. I mean, despite the absence of sand. And now for the final cabochons. First up, an oval 1.1 carat stone. Pretty nice, very beautiful. A 3.30 carat sort of triangular stone with sort of white and semi-crystal. A 5.15 carat oval stone that's very beautiful from all angles. A 5.76 carat teardrop stone that brings a tear to my eye. A better teardrop, 6.74 carats with lots of color. This is a nice stone, very nice. This is also very nice, 7.21 carats, freeform, but still free. And another one, 9.64 carats. I don't really like freeform, but you gotta like this. Now, the royal family. The Crown Prince, 26.42 carats of flaming color, freeform, but cool. Very nice opal. And finally, the king himself, 36.44 carats, lots of red, lots of orange, nice shape, and an overall great stone. Now for the giveaway winners. The winner of the 4.73 carat belemnite is Sherry Roberts. The winner of the 18.4 carat Wellow opal is Ben Cook. Everybody liked the opal arrowhead in the last video, so I'm giving away a 12.2 carat Australian opal arrowhead with color. No rules, just leave a comment. Well, this video was a lot of fun. Do all the things you're supposed to do. Like, subscribe, stuff like that. And I will see you next time.